So hey, I've been away, as you can tell, and for the most part I've not been active publicly as before. There are quite a few reasons and I'll get into all of them in this video. This hiatus started with me making a video that I'd planned for months. Yes, it's the same video that I've teased about 3 times now, and while it's not root of the problem, it plays a quite big part in the grand scheme of things. Now, while I have a decent thing going on for me here, I'm not actually enjoying doing it as much as I should do. I mean, I feel like my content's getting way more generic and it's too much just one thing focused now, which is Paladins. But that wasn't the reason which I started the YouTube channel for. I wanted to make a bank of videos with things that I learned over the years. And the easiest way to do them was through gaming videos. The audience is generally younger and there's a big audience, and it's something that I used to watch when I was younger as well. But while I was growing up watching this, I realized that a lot of content that people make is stupidly similar. It's either let's plays, their adventures with their friends online, or just meme videos. Yes, of course there are exceptions here, like some will be guides, but very few were actually informational or like educating based. And educating as in the fun type. So like, I learned this and it's blah 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 blah. And that's what I wanted to do for the most part. Now, when I started the channel, a very different thing happened instead. A game called Paladins has just entered closed beta, and no one was documenting the changes, not even the YouTube channel themselves. So what I did was started uploading the VODs of the live streams. Then the more I played, the more I got interested in the esports side of things and saw the same problems. No one was making VODs for the esports as well. So finally, I did the VODs for that. Then Hi-Rez announced that PTS for Paladins, and then I thought I can, document this and it'll be a time capsule of sorts. And that's exactly what happened next. And that's what my channel was for the longest part, just documentation of the little things which I fell in love for the game, and I had high hopes for. However, it was now also getting to a point where I started to remember what I actually wanted YouTube to do all those years ago. So I started making a meme video. That's not even a joke, it's actually true. But the first video I made was the correct mindset for ranked play, and it still hasn't crossed the 1,000 view mark, which I'm not exactly sad about. Now, this was the kind of video that I wanted to make from the beginning. So naturally the documentation of the game continued, but I was making more and more things that I wanted to. And while the topics on its own were interesting, I found interesting at least, it was still Paladins focused. The channel just became lore, mechanics, guides and what's not. Everything was Paladins, and it made me into something I didn't want to be known for. The one type of content / game. I mean, I still love the game, but the YouTube channel is supposed to be something more than just this one game. Okay, I mean, I'll show an example right now. When I wanted to introduce a new topic through Paladins, the arguments become convoluted. The best example of this was the Sexualized Champions video. The topic on its own is actually quite interesting, but it became Paladins focused a lot, and that's not the same thing anymore. People have said like, it's just rambling on, and to be honest, I didn't feel it at the time, but I watch it now and it really was. However, the last 2 videos I made are not exactly guilty of this. While it's all Paladins, it's not 100% about the game. Meta versus innovation and the discussion of similar versus new experiences and how they can be perceived. That's the kind of direction I want to take instead of me just opening some crates and saying things like, yeah, it's a cool skin. Now, while I may not be the best player, I know a lot about the game from mechanical and knowledge side of things, and that isn't always reflected in my videos, which is again something I do want to change. So, considering all of this, quite a few months back, I decided to make a risky project. It would be something that no one has done in this game for sure, and it would also solidify the new path I want to take. There's also the fact that this topic is actually quite close to my heart. Enter the video in question. I mean, I planned it, worked out what I needed and where I needed it. I worked on a script, finished it, spent a lot of time getting the relevant information from someone who knows what they're talking about, and I got to work on the graphics. As you may have noticed from my channel, my editing skills are pretty shit, which means it's just transitions and blacken and fades out, so that's something I want to change again. So then I finished making the graphics for this video, all the fancy swooshing and cuts and whatnot. But with that, I press the render button and my computer completely crashes. So what happened for the next 2 weeks was basically every time I pressed render, the computer crashed. Restarting, reinstalling and even resetting the PC does not help at all. So now I had graphics that I can't render, which I've been working on for a month, and they're just sitting there taunting me. Now, I tried to learn a new editor, but honestly at this point I was stressing and unmotivated as the video should have been gone up ages ago. And the new editor will not be as good because I'm not familiar with it. Because it's going to be made on the software that I've never used. because of the stupid software acting out right now. Now, at this point, I haven't uploaded anything for a month, and not only was I stressing out, but using the word demotivation is an understatement. When I say demotivation, I do mean demotivation. At one point, I actually considered deleting the channel completely, because thoughts like what's even the point anymore became a lot more consistent. Playing video games in general became a chore, and I became irritable easily, and thus maintained my distance from all of this. Now, another thing that affected me a lot more than it should have was a change in a person that I looked up to. Now, I won't mention any names, but if they're watching, they know exactly who I'm talking about. They were a mentor of some sorts, and I didn't know if you know the feeling. But you know when you listen to someone who enjoys a topic, and instead of listening to the topic, you listen to their enthusiasm and passion, and that is fun, and it's different to see. Now, that's the exact thing I had with this person. They were, passionate about what they did. But now, they are the exact same thing that they hated in the beginning, or they didn't want to be. And that just, solidified a point for me. That no matter what your ideologies or philosophies are in the beginning, under new circumstances, even hard, none of that matters. That love and passion they had is, completely gone. It certainly didn't help that I was swamped with university work that I only finished last week. I still have my dissertation, or thesis if you want to call it, but that's the only big essay I have with a deadline type of thing. The rest are just exams. It was not a fun time to be me. So instead of acting on my impulses, which meant basically not delete the channel, I decided to take a break instead for a week. But that week turned into 2, that turned into a month, and before you know it, it's been 3 months and I've done nothing. But, in its own way, it was quite peaceful. The amount of times I sat at the computer and just blankly stared at the document while trying to write a script was something I don't even remember anymore. After a certain time, I just started writing down ideas for a video and left it. Now, however, most, if not all, pieces of essay have been submitted. I want to say my time management's also better, but that's also a big fat lie. Also, before I finish, another bomb which I'm going to throw at you is that I actually don't enjoy making lore videos anymore. I mean, I know it sounds weird, but when I started with the Androssus video, it was because no one was covering it, and I wanted to do something or shed light into that topic. Now, I had no idea it would blow up and I would be the lore guy. The amount of comments and messages I've seen from people that argued over someone because I said something is the exact opposite effect of what I wanted in the beginning. Yes, I love lore in games and I like to pick up little details, but it certainly got to a point where people thought I was the expert when I'm really not. I'm just sharing my opinions. The fact that more people are looking into lore now means that in a way I've done my job and I don't need to do it anymore. So cutting this whole video, or condensing all the information I've said, a mixture of demotivation, software not working at the end moment, and real life catching up was what happened. Now I've rolled back the software to what did work, and now my videos actually render. With all that being said, thank you all for being superstars. I mean, I know I've lost subs, but that's to be expected if you don't hear from me in 3 months. I did leave without saying anything, and a lot of you have been confused by it, no doubt. Once again, thank you everyone, and I hope to see you again with a new video. I am working on it. Graphics are being worked on as well, and it's something bigger than I anticipated in the beginning. P.S. Oh yeah, I also have my final university exams in 2 months' time, so you may see another time period where I don't upload anything for months. Just a warning, it could happen, it couldn't happen, but I'm saying this as long as we're all clear.